Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I was just smiling because Maverick literally has just flown over. And don't worry, if you're looking at this screen thinking, what's going on? That's yesterday's puzzle. Indeed, it is. That is Beauty Mark by Zetamath, a wonderful puzzle, but we are not re-attempting it today. The reason this is on the screen is because I've been asked to open today's puzzle live on webcam, which I'm always very happy to do, but it always fills me with a certain sense of fear. Because it normally means there's something extraordinary about the puzzle, normally that it's extraordinarily difficult. All I know is that this is a very new puzzle, because Mark sent me the email overnight saying it was a new puzzle, but that the testing reports had been, let's just say, fulsome, and it needs to appear ASAP. That might be because it's date related, I don't know, but that's enough waffling from me. Let me go and paste in the link I've got here and click it. And we have got, oh, it doesn't fit on the screen. It's called Wheels on the Bus by Alaric Taki A, which I think is Alaric Taki Arancha, if I remember rightly. Crusader 175. Yes, I've done Crusader puzzles before, but first and foremost, how am I going to get this into my window without restarting the video? That would be good, wouldn't it? Let's see if we can do this. I think I can, maybe. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? It's a bit of black space on the edge, but it fits on. It saves me stopping the video and restarting it. Right, and why have I... It's very pretty, I can tell you that. Why have I been asked to open this live? Let's read the rules. Let's do the video in a different order to usual. Let's read the rules and see what's going on. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Disjoint groups. Cells in... Oh, no. Cells in the same relative position in different boxes cannot contain the same digits. So this is a horrific rule where basically what that means is if I highlight, this is a Chameleon link, isn't it? So this isn't in Sudoku Pad today, so I'm going to be all over the place. Basically, it means those cells, those green cells there, have to contain a set of the digits 1 to 9. So they all have to be different. So the top left cell in each box has to contain a different digit in each case, and let's go to the top right cell in each box. These have to be a set of the digits 1 to 9. So it's a horrible rule, because when you're looking at this cell, for example, you're not only scanning the column and the row to see if there's a repeated digit, you actually have to look at those 4 cells and see if any of these 4 cells, because obviously anything in these 4 cells, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, anything in those 4 cells couldn't appear in those cells, or there would be a repeated digit in orange, and that would be bad. Right, hang on, let's restart the puzzle. Right, wheels. Digits in a circle have to be placed in the same circular order in the 4 cells that are touched by the circle. Digits in a circle have to be placed in the same circular order in the 4 cells that... I'm not sure I understand that. The circle have to be... The circle The circle has to be rotated 90 degrees clockwise n times from the current position. N is the digit in the cell inside the circle. Example. If row 2 column 8 was 6... then row 1 column 8 is 8, and row 2 column 9 is 4. So if this is 6, whoa! Oh, what was that? Hang on, let me... What's happened there? Something happened there. Let's put 1 in. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, as Maverick flies over again, look. So depending on what digit you put in the circle, in the middle of it, it flips round the 4 and the 8. So hang on, it said if that was a 6... Why? I don't know. Hang on, let's take the digit out. Oh, I see, there's some sort of indication. Let me I'll rotate this. Right, so now I've got an all-purple clock. So let me just understand this. If I put 6 in here, that's saying I have to rotate the wheel 90 degrees 6 times. So that's a turn and a half, isn't it? So that seems to me to suggest I'm going to end up with a 4 here, because that 4 is going to turn all the way round once and then another half turn and go here. So I'm expecting a 6 there. Yes, okay, that's right. So I've understood that. So if you put a 6 there, you get an 8 here. Oh, that's absolutely mad. That is mad and slightly terrifying. But those are the rules. Now, do I have any news for you today? Before I want to try this, but I'm going to just check my list of things I have to tell you about. Yes, 2 days' time on Friday, we've got the new Sudoku hunt coming out over on Patreon. So do look out for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, based on lines and shapes. Lines because the online Sudoku app is coming very soon, and shapes because we have some new merch. I don't know if I've got a picture of new merch. Have I got new? Yes, I have. There we go. The new merch, a new cap for your delectation there, with the shape, the CTC hexagon right in the middle. So that's coming on Friday. Then some birthdays. I'm going to say happy 32nd birthday to Willow from your partner Echo. And they watch every night when going to bed. I hope that's not because it's the thing that's guaranteed to send you to sleep. It might be. I think some people do use the videos for that. Now, and I have to make an apology now to a very young viewer, also called Willow, because the way I do the birthdays is I put them in my iPhone diary. So my diary is completely full up with birthdays, and then when I have to do the videos, I look up the name. So I looked up the name Willow, and I found that there was a birthday announcement I don't think I did back in January, and it's awful because it's for a very young viewer, Willow, who turned 1 in January, and apparently was already watching the videos with grandparents Joshua and Yaya over in Glasgow, Kentucky. So I'm really sorry, Willow, that I didn't announce your birthday at the time, and I hope you're still watching now. Apparently, yeah, I was having a soporific effect, which probably useful for a young child. Anyway, also happy birthday to Jason from your good friend Damien over there in the States. Jason introduced Damien at university to the channel. And I think Damien's become a very good solver since. And Damien apologises, Jason. He can't deliver chocolate cake to you today because he's so many states away, but wishes you a super birthday, as indeed do we. And that is the news. So let us tackle Crusader 175's Wheel Sudoku. I mean, Chameleon deserves a shout out as well, doesn't it? Because this software has. So what have I seen from Chameleon? Chameleon programs these innovations into the software. So I think the first Fog of War puzzle that we did on the channel was Chameleon software. The first, there was a sort of pushing blocks puzzle that we did that was Chameleon's. And now we've got this thing where wheels move. Can I enter in a 0? No, I was just wondering if I could reset the spinning thing by putting 0 in, but it won't let me do it. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. The first thing I can instantly see here, for what it's worth, is that because of the disjoint rule, I've got to put one of every digit. Let's do some highlighting. So because we can't repeat a digit in the middle of each 3x3 box, these cells have all got to be a different number. So this is the set of the digits 1 to 9 in the middle of the boxes. Right, now what does that mean? So I can also tell you therefore that where 4 appears and where 8 appears, that won't cause. I'm just going to check that that's right, isn't it? If I put 4 in, it didn't move. It should have moved all the way round. Yeah, okay, so if you put 4 in to the middle, because it rotates 4 lots of 90 degrees, it ends up back in the same position. So if this was a 4, that would stop that being a 4. This would be 6, 2, 1. So 4 and 8 cause 0 rotations. Oh, sorry. I mean, I haven't got a clue what to do. As is probably patently obvious, I have not got a clue what to do here. Even the digits that I'm seeing are repeating. Like, I can see I've got a 3 and a 7 in these two. But I can't use that because these aren't... You know, imagine this wheel was here, then there would be some coordination between these in the sense you couldn't make the 3s line up. But these, that's totally and utterly... I can't do Sudoku with this. Would be a good title for the video. I can't do Sudoku. I can't do this Sudoku at all. What on earth are you meant to do here? Have I missed a rule? Hang on. Disjoint subsets, okay. On wheels, that's it. So there's some trick, you said fatuously, there's some trick that allows us to know things, and I've no idea what that is. Maverick buzzes past, humiliating me again. Flying by ever lower. Oh, this is a shame. This is a shame. I have a feeling I'm not going to get this. I don't understand it. And that's going to mean I have to do a different puzzle today. I never like... when I get the ones that I have to open on camera, you know, it's obviously... Well, obviously this one is because it's got this incredible mechanic. And it's been programmed specially. So it feels even worse than usual if I have to turn it off. But my brain's just not... I don't understand what I have to do here. I mean, let's just put some digits in the middle. If that's a 1, what are we learning from that? We get a quarter rotation. But as I say, the 3 and the 7 don't affect this one. Oh, well, Okay, they do very slightly affect that one, actually. Well, hang on, I'm just going to undo that as well. I just want to think about that again. I'm actually wondering whether it's about the 7s or about the 3s, or whether it's some combination of the two. They're offset, so they're not on, you know, the same sides of the square. But what I did notice then is when I put 1 in here. Now this one, I can't... If this was a 1, you're putting the 3 up here, and you're putting the 7 here. And that means in this one, I couldn't put a 4 or an 8 in the middle, because if I did put a 4 or an 8, the 7s are going to be in the same disjoint position. And I can't put a 5 or a 9, because that will rotate that will cause a quarter rotation, and the 3s will end up in the same position. So okay, you've also got 3 and 7 down here. Yeah, okay. I haven't understood this yet, but I'm suspicious now. I'm suspicious. I think this is something about digits that are 4 apart. Because I've noticed I've got 4-8 pairs as well. Two 6 pair. Yeah, okay. It's I don't understand it, but it's something to do with whatever I put in this square, for example, in neither of these squares could I put something that was 4 apart from whatever I put in this square. I think that's right, isn't it? And I think it holds. I mean, I did it with 1, but let's just put 2 in there for a moment. If this is 2, then am I right in saying neither of these can be a 6? I am. Yeah, okay. So it's to do with the fact, it's not only, right, I see, I'm slowly understanding. It's not only the fact that the digits 3 and 7 are 4 apart, actually. It's to do with the fact that the 3s are in the same position. And that... right, okay. And that stops you having digits that are 4 apart. Yeah, so let's make a little list for ourselves, shall we? Let's make a little list. So, digits that are 4 apart are 1, 5, 9. 2 is 4 apart from 6, but 10 is not a Sudoku digit, so that doesn't exist. 3 and 7, 11 isn't a Sudoku digit. 4 and 8, and there should be 9 digits there, and there are. Okay, so that is the panoply of digits. And 4 and 8 both appear in these 3. 2 and 6 both appear in these 3. And 3 and 7 appear in those 3. But in all of those options, one digit is always in the same starting position. So the 4 is always on the left of the 4-8 pairs. And that means that we have to be careful about how we rotate these things from wheels from a disjoint perspective. So let's go back to this one. If this was a 2, is it true to say that neither of these could be 6? It clearly is true to say, isn't it? Because 6, if we put 6 there, it's going to move the 3 into the same disjoint position, which means that whatever we put in the middle of whatever we put in any of these, let's just look at this one. I put 6 into it. So none of these can be 3 or 7, obviously, because 3 or 7 are on the wheel. So this, from the point of view of these 3 squares, maybe I should do different highlighting, actually. Let's do different highlighting for these different blocks. So the 4s and the 8s are those 3. Yeah, okay. So look at the green ones. Whatever I put in this square, for all greens, you can never put 3 or 7 in the middle. Now, I've put 2 or 6 in this one, and that has rotated the 3 round a half turn, basically. 1.5 turns, I suppose, but it's the same effect. So 3 is now not allowed to go in those 2 positions, which means that neither of these squares can be 2. It can't be from this 2-6 set, which means neither of them can be 3-7. So one of the other ones has to be from the 1-5-9, and one of them has to be 4-8. We can't do the same thing. So if I put a 1 in there, now if I tried to put a 5 or a 9 in here, what's going to happen? Well, that's going to move the 3 in this position up a quarter turn, whether this is 5 or 9. It's so cool. It's so cool. So that means that we have to put... I want to sort of... Can I just unwind all this, undo all this? I know, I want to keep the colours. I want to get rid of that because I don't know. I'm sort of learning on the job how to do the software. But what we now know is that these 3 green cells are from... One of them is 1-5-9, one of them is from 2-6, one of them is from 4-8. And I'm thinking it must work the same way for the other. I mean, the logic feels identical, doesn't it? So if we look at the purples now, none of the purple centres can be 4, 8. Obviously not, because that would repeat that digit in the box. Now, let's make this one 3. We know that's going to take the 4 down to here, I think, to that square. Yeah. Okay, so now if we made either of these 7, we're going to break the puzzle, because the 4s are going to be in the same disjoint position. So we know one of these has to be, so if we did that, what was I made that one? I made that one 3. If we make that one 3, one of these has to be from 2, 6, one of these has to be from 1, 5, 9. Yeah, it does work. It works the same way. So it's the same for orange, just with the 2s. How do we use that to actually make progress? I know one of these is from each category. Let's just think about this. I put 1 in the middle, so that's knocked out this category. So these ones, one of them is not moving, and one of them is moving a half turn. I don't see any problem with that at all. Bobbins, don't understand. Oh, let's get rid of the turn as well. So I think we've got to make sure we keep them all pointing at the top until we understand what the puzzle does. I don't know, sorry, I've got no idea. Well, I'm quite pleased that we've got anything. I'm quite pleased I've got anything to say after 22 minutes. Can we actually go further than that? Is it the other digit? So each of these has also got another digit. The 7 is common to the green. The 6 is common to the orange. Yeah, and 8 is common to the purple. So whatever you do with the 4s has to be a different rotation or a different order of rotation. I don't know. This is doing my head in. There probably is a restriction between. If you move the 4, if I move the 4, 1, what's that doing? That moves the 8 round. And now, so now, what have I got to play with now? I've got 2s, 6s, and 3s and 7s. Is that right? In purple, I'd have 2s and 6s. And 3s and 7s. And the 8 has ended up here. So this one couldn't be 2 or 6, so that would have to be 2 or 6. Otherwise the 8 would end up in the same position. And that would have to be 3 or 7. So the 8 would end up down here. This would be 3 or 7, and the 8 would end up... Oh, no, that's fine, because that 8's already rotated, so that works fine. I don't understand. What is it about these numbers that's going to cause a problem? The thing is, I'm not sure whether I'm meant to be looking at I've got no feel for whether it's green, orange or purple that is restricted here. So the 2 gets rotated a different amount by each. Sorry, I was looking at orange now. The 2 gets rotated a different amount depending on which one of these you put in. But the 6's starting position is always different. So if I move that one, right, okay, so I do have to be careful. I'm looking at those two, because if I move this one, I can't make both of those odd, I don't think. Because if I make... So we're in 2-6 land, so we're not looking at this one. We've got the options are 159, 37 and 48. So imagine I made this one 159. Whoops. And I made this one 37. I think that breaks, but I'm not certain, but I think it breaks. When I was doing it in my head, then it broke. And that's because what this one is going to do is it's going to shunt the 6 round to this position always. But this one is always rotating sort of 3 lots of 90 degrees, so that's going to force the 6 round. So where the 6s are on opposite sides, you can't have the same parity of digit in the middle. It won't work. Yeah, that's really cool, actually. That's it, isn't it? That is it. So you can't... So I know that this is moving an odd number of 90 degrees. Oh, that's right. So I can get a pencil mark. This is weird. This is so strange. Right. So because the 6s are on opposite side of the wheel, there is an equivalence. It's very difficult for me at least, to articulate, but hopefully you're seeing it. Because this one will always turn a half turn more than this one will. And then it will, and by doing that, it will equate, in effect. It will cancel out the half turn difference between the starting positions of the 6s and plonk them on top of each other. So one of these has to be the even number of movements, which means one of these is staying where it is. Which means there is a 2 in one of those two positions in the finished grid. Okay, but the cleanest thing I think that this is doing is it's saying that this... No, let's get rid of this as well. Sorry, I need to almost reset the puzzle here. I need to reset the puzzle. How do I get rid of this digit? I'm not very good with this software. Do I have to... Maybe I have to be on big numbers to just get rid of it. Or maybe I have to press delete. Oh no, it's gone now. Right. Oh, but it's rotated. So we need to unrotate it. So everything is pointing north. Right, and I want to look at the 2s and the 6s. So I know that these two are different parity, which means I know this has to be odd. So this digit is 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. But that gives me a pencil mark, because think about the 2 turning. If the 2 turns a quarter turn, it goes here. If it turns 3 quarter turns, it goes there. So the 2 is in one of those two, but the same logic applies to the 6. So that is a 2-6 pair. We have to ignore these numbers. These numbers are not. These numbers are just my aid memoirs about the way that the turns can be paired together. Now, does that logic... It should apply, I think, if we've got... Yes, 7s. Look at the 7s, these two 7s. These are on opposite sides of the wheel. So if the parity of these two clues was the same, the 7s would end up in the same disjoint position. So on this one it's different. So because we've got the even numbers, we've got 2 lots of even numbers that are possible on the 3s and the 7s. So these can't be made up of 2, 6 and 4, 8. One of those has to be odd, which means this is even, which means it's 2, 4, 6 or 8. Now that means that the 3... Right, so that means the 3 is either ending up here or staying where it is. So that means that's a 3-7 pair on this one. I really hope this does something. Now, what we could do is use the purples. Now, which purples are opposite? The 8s are opposite there. So purples are... So this is ruled out from purple. So we're only playing with these combinations. And if these were both odd, the 8s would end up on this in the same place. So that must be odd, which means it's 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Whoops. Now, what's that pencil? What's that giving me? So that's giving me a 4-8 pair. No, it's not. It's giving me a 4-8 pair vertically, isn't it? So the 4 either ends up here or here in all of the, in all of those combinations. And there is the 5 must end up in one of those two cells by that logic. Oh, look, yeah, here we go. And we've almost got a deduction in the sense that that is not now a 4-8 pair. That's a 2 or a 6, which is it. Because now we know where the 3 ends up, because it goes through a half turn or it goes through 1.5 turns. So the 3 on the left-hand side of the wheel goes there, and that is a digit, and that's a 7. We don't know whether that's 2 or 6. I don't know how to do it still. Come on. That is an odd number, because 4 and 8 are on the compass points of the wheel. And 2 and 6 look at the central square, and 3 and 7 are ruled out. So that square is 1, 5, or 9 in purple, which means the other... Right, so the other purple we know must have different parity, because we need these 8s to be on different thingies. So this one is a 2 or a 6, and that gives us a disjoint 2-6 pair in the centres. And this is telling us that the 8 is either rotating down, it's always ending up here, isn't it? Because it's going through a quarter, or a half turn, or a 1.5 turn. So that's an 8. And the 4 is having the same thing applied to it. So there's a 4 here. Wow, okay. Therefore what? What does that mean? Right, I've got it. That is under the same pressure. That sees all the even digits. It sees the 4-8 pair, and it sees the 2-6 on its wheel. So this is odd. 1, 3, 5, 7... Oh, hang on, sorry. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9... So this one, well, the implication of that is that this is even, and it's not 8, and it's not 2, 6, so that cell is a 4, and the 4 is a perfect rotation back to the start. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 6, which means this is 6. Oh, I don't know if I did that right. Hang on, I've got to undo that. Don't trust it. I wanted to put in 6, and it went whizzing round. Okay. Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, that's right, because the 3 and the 7 are where we expected them to be. So, what's that doing? 4. Oh, here's a very basic point. This is a 1, 5, or a 9, which is always a quarter turn. Because it's either a quarter turn, or it's a 1 1/4 turn, or it's a 2 1/4 turn. So this is always going, the 4 is always going to end up there, and the 8 is always going to end up there. And now, oh, I see. So in row 2, we've got a 1, 5, 9 triple left to place, and that can't be a 1. And we've got to ignore anything in yellow. And now I don't know what we're going to do next, but I do feel more optimistic that we might be able to solve the puzzle. What? Oh, this is a 2 by the power of Doku of all things. I love it. Now this has to be odd because it sees 2, 4, 6, and 8. So that one is not 3 or 7, is it? Or 1. So it's 5 or 9. Have we had one of those in the middle? No. No, we haven't. But 5 or 9, we know, equates to a quarter turn. It's the same as this one. So we've got to put 3 at the top and 7 on there, which gives... Oh, no. Ignore the yellow digits, Simon. They are not your friend now. We can take 7 out of these 2. And what do we need in this column then? We need... Well, where do we put 7 in this column, in fact? It's got to go there, hasn't it, I think? And this has got to be a 5 or a 9, which is potentially interesting. So 7 is in one of those squares by Sudoku. Do I have to get rid of these? I think I probably do, don't I? I think I'm on dangerous ground leaving them in because I keep being distracted by them. Right, but now surely we look here, don't we? Because the 7s are on the opposite side here, so this has to be even parity or we're going to end up with a problem. And it's not... Well, it's not 2, 4, and it can't be 6, so that has to be an 8 if that logic's right. I'm not sure about that. I'm reluctant to trust that I can just write in 8 here. Let me just go through the logic again in my brain. Come on, brain, get with it. So this is... Is this the final positions? No, yes, it is actually. We do know the 7 is ending up there, don't we? Yeah, we do. So this digit cannot equate to a quarter turn. But it never could do. And it can't end... Or a 3/4... Sorry, it can't be a 3/4 turn either, because the 7 would end up in the same place. And it can't be a quarter turn, because the 3 would end up in the same place. So it is moving an even number of digits, and it has to be an 8 then. Because by disjoint it can't be 6, and it's not 2, 4 by Sudoku, so I think that is 8, which is not going to make it wheel round, but never mind. So 9, 3 and 7 go into the grid. Now we get rid of 9 from here and 9 from here. So this square is 3 or 5 by Sudoku, I think. And we can get rid of 3 from there for what that's worth, which is probably not very much. So we've done very well with the even digits, but not very well with the odd digits, I'm afraid. Goodness only knows what we do now. Can we... I have no idea what I meant to do now. Maverick buzzes past again. Can we... I don't think we can. I'm wondering if there's some way we can resolve the even digits, because we've got more of those. 1, 5, 6, 7, 9. 5, 6, 7, 9. 2 has to be in one of those 2 squares I'm seeing, which means because there's a 2 in one of these squares, the 2 in this row is in one of those 2 squares. Why have I got 5? Oh, yeah, okay, that can't be 5, can it? I've suddenly realised, because there is a 5 on the wheel. So this is a 2-5 pair now, which is a discovery that we weren't aware of, or I wasn't aware of a moment or 2 ago. Hang on. Ah, that's huge. So if there is a 5 in one of those 2, and there seems to be, that's making this a 9. Aha! And that's going to cause whizzage. There we go. Well, it didn't cause much whizzage, but it caused a little bit of whizzage. That's not 9 anymore. So this is, oh, it's either a quarter or a half turn. We don't know which. And that's going to determine which way the 2 to the 5 end up. 9 is in a middle square now, so 9 has to come out of all the other middle square possibilities. This is 2, 5, so that can't be 5. Oh, it's so... Oh, well, then that's great. Okay, so now I've got a 1, 3 pair, so that's got to be 5 by disjoint. It moves it. Oh, could we have done that? No, I don't know. I don't know that I did, because that was 1 or 5 before, and that would have caused a quarter turn. And this square has to be 7. And that, look, that's placing 6 and 2. So 6 and 2 go in, which is putting 2 in one of these 2 squares. It's putting 6 in one of these 2 squares. And this row looks very cluttered, doesn't it? 1, 5 and 1, 5 and 9 to place in this row. Let's see if we can. Let's put that in and see if it tells us anything. I can see that's not 9. I really hope I'm not going to have to descend into disjoint scanning, because that's going to be terrifying. Okay, 7 is in one of those squares by Sudoku. This row, I've got 5 in that row, so that's got to be 9, and that's got to be 1, which means I get 5 at the bottom. Look, that's come out of nowhere. I get a 1, 9 pair. This, look, 5 there is in the same position as 5 there. Well, no, it's not. It mustn't be in the same position as 5 there, so that's got to be 2. That's got to be 5, and now can I work this out? Yeah, this has to rotate 3 to get that 5 over to there. So that's a 3, which places the 8 and the 4. This has to be 1, which places the 2 and the 6. Oh my goodness, that's a 2 by Sudoku now. Oh, hang on, I'm not used to this software at all. I was trying to get rid of the pencil mark, but it did do it. 8 in this box is in one of those 2 squares. So 8 is in one of these 2 squares. Let's see if we can do something with that. That square is a 3. So there is a 3 in one of these 2 squares. I don't think we have to worry too much about... We've got very little by way of disjoint. What about this column? Oh, it's 1, 5 and 9 again. Bobbins. Okay, well, let's put those in. 1, 5 and 9. I don't think we can get rid of too much here. Where did the 1 go? That's not 1. That's not 9. So there is a 9 in one of these 2. What about the middle row then? 4, 6 and 8. 6. Where does 6 go in the middle row? It's got to go here now. So that seems to place an 8 here. This is a... Oh, look, where's 8 now? 8 has to go there. This is great. It's actually... It is still... We are still plodding away through this, you know. 4 is in one of those 2 squares. I am trying a bit to scan the disjoint positions when I get digits, so... But I'm probably making an absolutely ghastly job of it. But it's like we don't have many digits in the corners of these boxes, so... I don't think there's going to be too much joy to be extracted from that. I think we're almost going to end up with crosses in every box, and that's going to be strange. This has to be a 1, 4 pair. You see, that's... Oh no, it doesn't. There's a 4 here. Okay, so 4 and 1. So we didn't get a cross in the middle box. We actually finished the middle box. And we get a 1 in one of these 2 squares. I don't know. 5 in one... Oh, 5 I can place in box 6 by Sudoku. So what do we need? We need 3, 7 and 9. Rotten thing. We need 3, 7 and 9 into this box. That's not 3. Oh, that's not 3 either. No, that's great. Oh, we're still going. We're still alive. We've got a 7, 9 pair now. So we must... Oh, that 6 looks interesting. Yeah, I can get the 6 over here. Hooray. So this box needs 1, 7 and 9. and we can get rid of the 1 from here. Oh, right, so there's a 7-9 pair in the top right disjoint, for what that's worth, which is probably nothing actually. Knocks 7s and 9s out of those 3 positions. More important might be the 4, 5, 6 in the top left actually, although we've got 4, 6 there. That square, and that square I might look at in a moment. Let's try keeping our eye in with Sudoku though. What else could it be? Come on, this would be a lovely puzzle to finish. It really would. 2 has to be in one of those 2 squares by Sudoku. That's these 2 2s operating. 3 has to be in one of those 2 squares. 8. I feel like we've done a bit with 8s. Do we know anything about 8s in the top left or right of boxes? No. Oh dear, no. Okay, I'm juddering to a complete halt here. 6s are in those 2. No, I don't think that matters. What else could it be? 4s, yeah. You see, I've got loads of pencil marks, but because we've got so few digits in the corners, it's very hard to see how we're going to pick much off here. 7s, no. 9 could be. Well, maybe, is that worth noting? 9 is in one of 2 places in box 8. Now, can we eliminate? But we don't have any 9s in the bottom left-hand corners of the disjoint, I don't think. No. Okay, I'm going to try using the 4, 5, 6 here. So I'm going to focus in. I don't think it's going to work at the top because we can already get rid of 4 and 6. But here we've got 7 and 9. So I'm also able to. So I can look at these 3 in the disjoint and know these can't be 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. So they are 1, 2, 3, or 8. These squares. I'm just going to label them fully up. Oh, I've just misclicked as well. 1, 2, 3, and 8. Now that one's not 3 or 8 immediately. That's come down to 1 or 2. I can't see how to improve on that. That one is not 2 or 8. This is so annoying. It's not quite doing it, is it? What about this one? This one might be the one that rescues us. This one. No, that can't be 2 because of this. Can it really be the others? 1, 3, and 8. That's the top left-hand positions. Ah, McBobbin's face. That's so frustrating. All right, maybe we're not meant to do that. Let's try column 6. 3, 5, 6, and 8. 6, 3, 5, 6, and 8. So these squares are from 3, 5, and 6. And can we eliminate anything else? 3. Boom. Comes out of that one. It's going to be stuff like this. It's just monumentally hard for me, at least, to spot this stuff. And this is from 3, 5, and 8, which I can see we can do one thing there, which is get rid of a 3 from there because of this 3. So that's 5 or 8. Oh, no. What about... We can try it. We can try these ones as well. These 3. They see this 1, 7, 9 triple in effect from the disjoint. Again, it's interesting to see that the 7, 9 here gives us no extra information, but those 3 have to be from 2, 3, 5, 8 is all we can put into these. We've done that one. So 2, 3, 5, 8 into these, And this one is not 3 or 2 actually. That one's come down to 5 or 8. Oh no, I was thinking maybe there's a 5 in one of those, but that's not necessarily the case. That one I think I've looked at. This one can't be. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's the very last digit. But look, 3, 5 and 8. Look at this square. That has to be a 2. I think, which is going to do some work actually. I'm going to take this extremely slowly because I can see it's doing things. But I think I'm about to miss all sorts of implications from this. But let's do this slowly. 2 in box 9 now seems to have to be there, which is in the top left. Where we can see 2 is getting placed here in box 1. How many 2s have I got? I might have all the 2s now, but I have seen one more thing. Yeah, I've got all the 2s. And this displaced a 4 pencil mark, so we get a 4 here, which is lovely actually, although it stops there being a 3 in the corner, because that seems to be saying plonk a 4 here. That can't be a 4 for some reason. Why can't that be a 4? Oh, because of this disjoint. Look at that. So that's great. Because now I put 4 in the corner here, I put 4 in the corner there, and that took the place of a 3, so I have to put a 3 here. That took the place of an 8, so I get to put an 8 here. That 8's doing stuff up there, but let's just take the 3 first. So that's 1, that's 5, that's 9, that's 1. And now I see I'm getting lost. This is 5 by the fact this is 8, and I've got to put 8 in the corner of this box. I've got to put 8 here in box 2. This has got to be 3 just by Sudoku. This has become a 5, 6 pair at the bottom. So, oh, that's a 1. So this is a 9 apparently. I don't know where that's come from. That's a 1. That's a 9 by Sudoku. That's a 7. This is a 1. This is a 7. This is a 9. Come on. That's a 9 by Sudoku. I've not put 7 into the row. I've not put 5, I think, into that box. Wow, wow, wow. That's got to be a 3. This has got to be a 9. That's a 6. That's a 5 by Sudoku. I've got a 1, 6 pair, which has got to go that way round. That gets me a 6 here. This just it's suddenly solved. It was that 2 in the corner that did it. There we go. I don't know how to. Oh, there is a tick button. Right, let's have a go. Oh yes. I thought we were dead. I thought we were dead at the start. I thought it wasn't going to go very well at all. That is an incredible puzzle. Crusader 1775. Take a very large bow, and Chameleon take a bow for making this wonderful software. It's just fantastic, and what an idea. So it's one of these puzzles where after you've finished it you suddenly understand. I suddenly, I can sort of articulate now, I think fairly clearly, how you had to think about it. So at the start, which, how do we go back to the start? Should we go back to the start and just look at the start? Because it's very interesting. So what you have to do is you have to note that the given digits on the wheels are always knocking out one of the naughty combinations. So what were the naughty combinations? 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 3, 7, 4, 8. So like this 4, 8 set means that the only thing we can put in those wheels were from the other 3. And then you have to notice, and this was very difficult for me at least, then you have to notice that the 8s are on opposite sides of the wheels in some of these situations, and therefore you can't take the odd pair. So you can't take the 3, 7 and the 1, 5, 9 and plonk them into those, because it'll put that digit in the same disjoint position. It's a crazy idea. It's one of these puzzles again where you just think, how do you come up with this? How do you lie in bed at night and think, well, if there were wheels, and if I twisted the wheels, and then there would be a parity consideration, and then that wouldn't work, so I could range these wheels all across the grid like this, and that would probably do something. I have not got a clue. I just know that sometimes on this channel we get fleeting glimpses into the minds of geniuses, and that is what we've been given today. So Crusader175, take a bow. Chameleon, thank you so much for making this. Mark, thank you for sending it to me overnight, because now I can tell you without fear of contradiction that I enjoyed it mightily. I feared this might be one where I had to turn off the webcam, but I have muscled through it, and it's a heck of a puzzle. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.